A very good evening to you. Welcome to the Black Hot Fire News Update. With me, Demore. It is 6 minutes past 7 p.m. on a beautiful Friday evening in the 254. It is the 5th of April 2024. And this is what has been happening throughout the whole of Africa. I'll be telling you about it and everything that has been happening in Africa. Of course, from Rwanda with the French president Macron acknowledging the role that France played in the Rwandan genocide of 1994. We're going to be looking at how the IMF has today claimed that it is working on ways to support drought-hit African countries, which are many, the likes of Zimbabwe, the likes of Zambia, the likes of Ethiopia, the likes of Southern Africa, and the likes of course, we've had several countries claiming that they are at a risk. The other one is Nigeria. We're also going to be looking at what has been happening in Somalia and why it looks like there might be violence between Somalia and Puntland. Puntland is a state that is in Somalia that is independent from Somalia, but under Somalia. It is an autonomous state in Somalia. So I'm going to be telling you why there seem to be a row between the federal government of Somalia and the government of Puntland, which is also part of Somalia. Also going to be looking at why a British museum is being investigated over Ethiopian artifacts that have been hidden from view for 150 years. Also going to be looking at a research that was done that showed that there is a staggering rise in women with reproductive health issues near DRC cobalt mines. What are some of the health effects, some of the repercussions that unhealthy, they mine cobalt in environments that are not good for humans. They don't care about the people mining, they only care about the cobalt. So what are some of the effects that this has led to, from the miscarriages, infections, and birth defects? We're going to be looking at how the cobalt mining has affected women and girls in mining communities, especially to do with reproductive health and, of course, a lot of other things. Finally, we are going to be looking at the first ever pig kidney transplant that has happened in history, where a man was implanted with a kidney from a pig. I'm going to be telling you about that. And of course, I'll be here for the next 30 minutes telling you about each and everything that has been happening in Africa. So stay with me as we look at some of these things that have been happening. I like calling them theatrics, as we look at some of these theatrics that were happening throughout the whole of Africa. Let us start with Rwanda, where, as I had said, French President Macron is set to release a video on Sunday, but I saw a statement from the French government before he releases the video that France has acknowledged its role in the 1994 Rwandan genocide. In case you're not conversant with the 1994 Rwandan genocide, it was a mass murder, for lack of a better term, that happened in 1994 in Rwanda. It was reportedly between two of Rwanda's majority and minority population, that was the Hutu and the Tutsi. The Hutu, who are the majority, were planning to kill the minority Tutsi. That is the propaganda that was spread. I don't know how true that is, but that is what happened. It was between April to July 1994, if I'm not wrong. That was when the Rwandan genocide of 1994 occurred, and so many people were killed, so many, in the hundreds of thousands. It is estimated that about 200,000 people were killed, but the number might be more. It is actually 800,000, not 200,000. 800,000 civilians were the ones that were reported killed. So it was one of the worst cases of genocide that we have seen in Africa in the 20th century. And it was a row between the Hutu and the Tutsi, of course, motivated by so many things, so many propaganda, and I don't want to go into the Rwandan genocide because we looked at it in one of my shows, but I was just giving you a little bit of context in case you may not know about what happened between the Hutu and the Tutsi in 1994. that led to the death of close to 1 million people, might be even more. So today, Macron, in a statement that I saw, has said that they could have done, they admitted their involvement in the 1994 Rwandan genocide, claiming that he claimed in the statement that France and its allies could have stopped the genocide, but lacked the will to do so. So he said the only reason France and its allies, by the its allies, I know he meant the other Western countries. He says the only reason France and his allies did not stop the genocide was because they lacked the will to do so. They just didn't want to. They didn't see the need to. So in a video to be released on Sunday, the video of him actually saying this will be released on Sunday. The reports are from a statement that was released by the French government. In a video to be released on Sunday, Macron acknowledges France's failure to act decisively during, I would say, one of the darkest chapters in Rwanda's history. He said that France, along with its Western and African allies, had the capacity to intervene and prevent the genocide, but ultimately fell short due to lack of determination. At least he was honest. He said the only reason they didn't intervene was because they were not motivated. They lacked the determination. But he wasn't entirely honest, because if he was entirely honest, then he would say that they did not just fail to intervene, but were part of the people who planned the genocide. So Rwanda is, he's saying this because Rwanda is commemorating, is having an anniversary to commemorate the 1994 genocide. And so that is why France came up with this statement saying that they acknowledge that they could have done more. And he said that he recognizes France's responsibility in the genocide. The genocide, which, as I said, claimed the lives of more than 1 million people, primarily the ones that were killed were the Tutsis by the Hutus, but the Hutus were also killed in the genocide. The genocide that also led to rise in power of some of the African presidents we have, that I don't want to go into that. But that was Macron acknowledging France's role in Rwanda. Many years later, France still has a role in whatever is happening in, of course, the neighboring countries. We are having a humanitarian crisis in DRC. We are having another one in Burundi, which I won't have time to go into. But that was basically what was happening with French presidents and Rwanda. And in other news, I'll come back to that later. And looks like Spike's Swahili lessons are really doing well, because General Mosquito can speak good Swahili right now. He's telling me habari yako kaka. And habari yako General Mosquito. I see Spike is doing a really good job with the Swahili classes. So in other news, I'll come back to the Rwandan genocide later on. Let me look at the IMF. The IMF also released a statement today. It has been a day of statements. The IMF claimed that it is working on ways to support drought-hit African countries. This is after several African countries, about 5 or 6 of them, have declared a state of emergency, asking for aid, because they are saying if they do not get aid, then people are going to die, because they're having a food crisis. One of the countries is Zimbabwe, the other country is Malawi, the other one is Zambia, the other one is Nigeria, is also facing a food crisis issue. The other one is Ethiopia. And Malawi and Zambia say that they're having a food insecurity issue because of the El Nino. Ethiopia said it was because of the conflict. Zimbabwe, I don't know what they said, but all they said is that they need aid and they need it urgently, or else they are going to have people dying. So the IMF today released a statement saying that it is assessing the impact of deep drought in Africa and working on ways to provide support to the affected countries. So the communication director is the one that released the statement yesterday, saying that the IMF has over the last decades bailed out Africa whenever there has been a food crisis issue and a drought, food insecurity issue, and they are going to do it again.
That's a lie.
Just reading from their statement that they released yesterday.
I'm sure Africans can't grow the necessary crops that they need through their fake World Trade Organization that doesn't allow Africans to grow staple crops. They must import stuff. Look at Africa has the most arable land. How does it always have food crisis? From bad land up in Europe, it doesn't have good land to grow stuff. How's Africa always in food crisis?
Mm-hmm.
How is that possible? They got the best land. That can make sense. The Europeans are actually trying to destroy the land with damn GMOs and other fake shit that they're trying to do to actually cause starvation. The idea that they're saving Africa. Why did that everything before the European never happened? Why Africa wasn't starving to death before the European came to Africa? Now the Europeans, you have mass killings, you have terrorism, you got starvation, you got bad shit that don't ever get developed, and everybody always says thank you, white daddy, for coming to conquer us. Thank you.
So the IMF was responding to cries from several African presidents. I reported on this. We had the Zambian president cry to the IMF. We had even Mnangagwa cry to the IMF. We had Ethiopia's prime minister cry to the IMF. So they're all crying to the IMF. That is what they do. So it was just responding to the cries, and it said that it is assessing the situations. And you know what? We are not going to let you people die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. That's the whole agenda. Go get that black man at water machine.
Mm-hmm.
Take it to Africa. Let's go. They want to do the fake climate change because these are seasons. Give water to those people and grow. Be adults and grow your own. You imagine Africa, you grew your own crops before the white man. You realize that you actually grew food. You wasn't starving. You don't have any history of mass starvation in Africa until you got conquered by white people. There's no history. Black people starve. You got the best climate. We grow food. You got the best land, but it's always food because it's always hunger in Africa. That's where we grew up. Babies with flies on their face. Their stomachs all African babies all skinny. Ugh. Send money to these wretched niggas. This thing, they're hungry. It's like, wow. I don't want to go there. Every African American scared to go to Africa. Propaganda. Oh man, Africa's fucked up. Maybe it was better they took me into slavery, shit like that. Maybe it was better I was a slave than to be born in Africa. Shit. If it was that bad, shit.
So in East Africa, about 30 million people, that is according to the reports that I'm looking at here, it says that 30 million people are facing, that is in East Africa alone, 30 million people are facing danger of starvation because of drought.
Oh, here we go. Because of drought, the more that man's machine still exists, the more water. Making water, the more. Water from nothing. Drought.
But how are we going to get aid from the IMF if we have food?
I don't know. No, don't give me drought business. Drought don't work because it's a cure for drought. Get the man's machine. Pull fresh water out the air, out the atmosphere. Atmosphere it's full of water, Demore. All the time.
I know they know solutions that can happen, kids. Even if they don't go for the water, for example, a country like Kenya should never talk about drought because we have a lot of rivers, we have a lot of, we can drill boreholes and use irrigation, but there's something called political opportunism where they create problems so that they can benefit from them. An example is uh, as an African president, your country is suffering of hunger with the level of corruption. That that alone is gonna make you a millionaire because when the aid come, you loot half of it. So that is why we can never get such projects because they want the aid, and of course, if the problem is solved, then that means the aid will not come. I told you a story about a friend of mine who went to work for a certain parastatal in Kenya, and he was actually an attachee. He was doing his attachment there. So he realized that they had so many files around, and he suggested that, you know what, because I'm here for attachment and I have a lot of free time, I can put all your files in digital format. So I can help you clear the whole of this room, scan all these documents, put them
Make
in
it
a drive.
efficient. Make it efficient. What they tell him? No,
Yeah,
nigga. No.
yeah, they told him that. They told him that he was too mouthy.
Your mouth.
so,
Imagine that.
and my brother had to chill. He had to chill for the rest of his attachment. You don't give solutions to places like those. They
The
want
more,
problems like those so
the
that when
more,
you come,
the more the
they're going.
person. The regular shit ain't supposed. It ain't never supposed to work. The comments are like, "Hey, you can do all that and clear all this up." Yeah. Okay, let's do it to work. No, in Africa, like, no, no, you fucking my money up. That's how I steal money. Get your ass
Yeah,
out of here.
you too mouthy. So apparently, I figured out that they want the files like that, so that when you come looking for a file, it was in the Ministry of Lands. So if you come looking for a certain file, they're going to tell you they have not found the file, and if you bribe them, then the file is going to be found. But then when the files are in a drive, then they'll just need to search your name. So that was close. You know, they don't want that. So some of the problems are
Goes down the
actually,
ground.
yeah. That's why they told him he was too mouthy. And now, if you go to the Ministry of Lands, they have the files, dusty files all over, which they can put in digital format, but they don't want to. So I guess it's the same thing with the hunger, with all the most of the problems we see. They can find solutions to them, but they don't want to because it's an
They don't,
avenue for them.
they won't get their kickback. They won't get their bribe. You can't bribe
Yeah.
nobody getting free water from the air tomorrow. There's nobody to bribe. Free-
because because if the files are in a drive and you tell me you're not seeing my file, I'll tell you search my name and we are gonna see the file. But now when there are 1,000 files, I have to believe you that you are not seeing my file. So we don't look for solutions like those. So that is why that that brother with his
That's why they
water plant will never sell in
That's why,
Africa.
that's why they got a train that's 40 years old and goes takes you 6 hours to go to Mombasa, to goddamn Nairobi. Be like, yay! Hey, moron, you got that train like 3 or 4 years ago. That train's supposed to get you to Mombasa, Nairobi under an hour.
that that is why to get a passport printing would take like 3 months to print a passport, unless if you bribed, then
Wow,
your passport get printed in like 2 days. But if
boy,
you do not,
I sent Joe Katie to the passport office
Mhm.
and 2021. They didn't get that passport to like I must say 2023 when I first sent them to Tanzania. That was
Mhm.
2021. They had to go get their passport, and it took them a year to get the passport. Not no 3 months. It took them a year, so they had to get a year.
To get a
What?
passport printed, the passport is already in. It is processed. It is already in digital format. So to print it, it takes a year to press print. It's crazy.
Everything insane. So
But it
yeah,
Ethiopia did not. Had they bribed the officials, they would get the passport in 2 days. If they had given maybe 1,000, 2,000 shillings, the passport comes out in a few days. They'll even
That's
have
why,
it delivered to you.
that's all Africa. They make Africa so bad. But this shit don't work. It's crazy. Everybody got to get bribed to their jobs because ain't nobody getting paid. It's crazy. It don't regular shit. This regular functions don't work in Africa. Like, okay, move my passport. Should take about American passport take about 2 to 3 weeks, right? Because you got to send it. So 3 weeks. Come back, because they mail it to you in America. They mail it to you. So Africa, if you don't bribe nobody, it should take a year. Like, what?
And sometimes kids, because of the culture, maybe you're not even corrupt, you're not someone who like giving out bribes, but you have circumstances force you to. An example is right now, I told you about clubs and entertainment joints getting closed at 11 p.m. So what the police are doing right now is they are walking at night, and then if you are found outside at 11, let's say 11:10, you're gonna get arrested, and they're gonna write drunk and disorderly, and you're going to go to.
What? You can't be
Yeah,
outside now?
it
Wait.
doesn't matter whether you're drunk or not.
You can't be outside now at 11?
You can be, but just don't collide with the police. They're gonna arrest you and then write drunk and disorderly. They don't need evidence for that. It's not like so in the morning they're gonna put you in cell. So to avoid that, when they arrest you, you give them 500 shillings, you go home, or
You
you
can't
go with
prove.
them. You go with them to the cell, then spend the next 3 days going to court saying you're not guilty, and
No, they
so
got to
sometimes
prove you drunk.
come again.
Don't they got to prove you drunk?
They don't need to prove you are drunk. They don't have ways to prove. They'll just write a statement.
Breathalyzer.
Nah, we don't do that here. What do you mean a breathalyzer? He just needs to write a statement that Keith was drunk and disorderly at 11:44 p.m. That's all the judge will need. So you might not go to jail, but you're gonna waste 3 days in the back and forth, with the court officials, with going
Now, if
to
I go to
court and
court,
back.
there has to be some proof, some evidence. He's putting forth to prove that I was intoxicated. Or this is a kind of report. It's null and void. This is me talking to the judge. This is null and void. There has to be some evidence.
It's okay. You're gonna get released, kid. You're gonna get released by the judge because the judge might have more sense than the police. But you've wasted 3 days in the cell. Do you want that?
Hell no.
So you give him 500 shillings, you go home, whether you are drunk or not. So that is what happens. That is how you survive in the streets of Nairobi.
I'm not giving shit. I will have some 3 days to them.
It's okay. You're gonna spend the next 3 days in a police station.
When I get to court, so you better get the police officer in here. It's gonna be a problem because he's corrupt, and I need him dealt with. It's gonna be a problem.
By who? Who's gonna deal with him?
The court better deal with his ass. He knows he's corrupt.
We don't do that. We don't do that here. Nothing is gonna happen to him.
That's how bad.
That's how
crazy. That's how bad Africans become, family. You get justice is null and void. I'm like, I'm sitting there, like, hey, I'm sitting there 3 days. This dude is corrupt. I don't even drink alcohol. I never drink alcohol in my life, I never had a thing. He just wrote some things about I'm drunk and disorderly. So we're gonna have to some justice gonna have to get done. Justice. You crazy.
Not justice is going to happen. The judge is going to ask, if you want to now make another case against the police, you still have to bribe somebody for the case to go through. So either way, you're gonna bribe someone along the way, and he's never going to get arrested. He's going to bribe his way out himself. So to avoid all that problem, that is why people bribe even when they don't have, you are arrested. You are innocent. You are 100% you are innocent.
It's so wicked. And that's not,
but you just want to go home.
It's not Kenya. It's Africa. It's not Kenya, family. This not Kenya might be less worse. This is Ghana. This is Nigeria. You can't get shit done unless you're giving somebody some chai. This is crazy.
And I don't know if these cases have reduced. We used to have cases in the CBD where, in the CBD, the Nairobi Central Business District, where if you're walking around with a bag, then some plain clothes, I know I can find a video on YouTube of the same. Some plain clothes police officer would come, frisk your bag, and plant weed inside. And that is how you going inside. Yeah, so you have to bribe them, even though you've never seen weed for your whole life.
Because everything's a scam.
Yeah, so
You're not getting paid.
the corruption is so bad. It's not about the politicians. The corruption is everywhere, from the bottom up. I don't know if it trickled from the top bottomwards, but it is so bad. It is so bad.
It's bad. It's terrible now. I told you one time I was in Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they know this, but I guess they know. I was in Ghana, I come from the airport in a cab, and the police stopped us, and the driver said, "Oh, I got the bribe. He knows you're an American." So how the fuck they know I'm an American? I just got in the cab. How the hell they know that? They know, my friend. They watch everything. I'm going to have to bribe, watch, and see. Let's go to hey, where you from? Like, America. I need my money. I told the cab driver. I'm in Ghana CDs, that shit was. I'm like, this is legal? No, but what they do, they know you're an American. They watch us at the airport. Like, God damn. That's crazy. I can't say nothing. Yeah. I'm a tourist. Yeah. What can I say? I said, I ain't giving him shit. I said, I ain't giving him nothing. If sir, come down, he might lock us up. I said, I'm not giving you nothing. I'm not giving you shit. I'm not bribing nothing. Your ass out of here. Crazy. Well, so you had to bribe what?
You have to bribe even. I was looking for a video of the same. I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna look for it and share it. You sometimes bribe when you don't. You have done nothing, but you just wanna go home. You don't want to spend the next 5 days in a whole process that you won't get justice in. So you just bribe and go home.
But when you know what that ain't what happened to HR, brother. They caught him red-handed with that shit. They had to bribe him. Yeah, they had it.
They once arrested Kamlesh. I don't know if he told you.
Yeah, weed on him?
Nah, with nothing on. You're just walking, then they just come, arrest you, and they have to bribe to get out.
What? What they say he did?
I'm not sure what they said he did, but he was taken to the holding cell, but he did not stay there for long. I don't know if he bribed himself out. Probably did.
Why am I being arrested? Because you named yourself Hamless, nigga. That's why.
And the worst mistake, let me tell you the worst mistake you can ever do in Africa, in case you ever come to Africa. The worst mistake you can do is talk about... don't you ever bring the I know my rights talk to the police. You're gonna go. Don't you ever talk about knowing your rights. I know my rights. I know what am I being arrested for. Now you're gonna get a good Zara beating, and you're still going to bribe your way out. If you come to Africa, leave that. I know my rights. On the airport.
See, don't be looking at a bunch of Netflix movies in Africa and think you can do this in Africa. I know my rights. I hear you though.
So I know my rights does not work here. You're gonna get thoroughly beaten by those people. They hire. I don't know how they hire police officers, but anyway, that was what was happening with Mnangagwa, and IMF now claiming that it is assessing the situation, and it is going to help all the drought hit African countries like it has always done. That is what they said. They say they have always helped African countries, and they are going to do the same. Let us now look at a British museum that is being investigated. I don't know by who, but reports have come out that there are Ethiopian artifacts that have been hidden from the public for 150 years. These are tablets, altar tablets that they stole during the Battle of Magdala in 1868. But they say the tablets are too sacred that even the workers at the museum do not want to touch them. That is why they have not been, they
Where they
have
get
never
them?
been shown.
Where they get them from?
They stole them from Ethiopia. They admitted that they
Yeah.
looted, the British soldiers looted them in 1868.
Yeah, they lose.
But they've never been on public display ever since.
Yeah, because they lose the mansion, the palace. Yeah, they stole a little black kid and took him to England, and then he died like 10 years later, or 8 years later. They kidnapped him. They just kidnapped, they just steal the damn artifact. They kidnapped the kid too. Get in there, nigga. All right.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the tablets. I was trying to look at a picture of the tablets, but there's not even a picture of it because they say the tablets are too sacred. And the Ethiopian minister was in the UK, and he was begging, requesting for them to return them, but I don't know whether they are going to get returned. I
No,
doubt they will.
what you mean you don't know? The answer's no.
I,
You don't know.
it,
I don't know if they're
he
gonna
was
get
there. He was there begging. You know, the prime minister was the cultural minister was there begging,
so what? They've been begging.
begging for them to be.
Without power to more the answer is no. And it's no nigga.
And Jiba Jaba is saying that Kenyan cops respond with the rights and lefts. And let me just show you what happens when you tell a Kenyan police that you know your rights. So this man in Swahili is telling the police that he cannot beat him up. He's not allowed to. He's telling him, usijaribu kunigonga. Don't you try to hit me. So in short, he's trying to tell the police, I know my rights. You're not supposed to beat me. That is against the constitution. They even beat the cameraman who was recording. If you see this part,
that's illegal as shit. Look at how. Yeah, look at the camera guy. Come on, camera for evidence.
So all that talk about I know my rights, leave it at the airport. They know they are.
Europeans set up these police stations and just like they're just gangs. They don't protect the church. It's just a thing of gangs. I know that's what.
This other one is entering the vehicle on the window. You know. Yep, it's your car, but he's pulling you out through the window.
He's jumping in the car. What are you
doing? Yeah. I'm sure this woman told him, you have no right to enter my car. You have not consented to. And he was like, hold my beer, sister. and
yeah, then look at this crazy shit here. I'm on the man on the hill. Another duty on top. What are you doing, man?
Forcing entry into your vehicle.
Now he's sitting in the middle. Look how crazy this is. Only in Africa you see that. Only in Africa you see some crazy shit like this.
And they drive your car to the police station, and now you have to bribe your way out.
What is he doing?
Driving the car to the police station.
You never. This is so criminal. It's crazy talk. It ain't nothing gonna
You know,
happen to that. This is so criminal, so corrupt. Man, this is so crazy. It's like, is this even this like a prank movie? Is this a prank? No, this is real.
no, in the constitution they say, but whatever is in the constitution, let it remain in the constitution. It doesn't work like that, you know. You say that in the constitution they say a police officer has to introduce themselves, tell you why you're getting arrested, but they
Yeah.
do that with several slaps. You know, you're gonna get several slaps. So that is why I was telling you, kid. Now, after watching those videos, that was why I was telling you, you cannot reason with these people. So sometimes you just have to bribe your way and go home, even if you are innocent. You know, give them the $5, go home.
Crazy. That man jumped the
Otherwise,
whole. That man jumped to the window, grabbed the car. Right there, that's car. Right there, any place in the world, that's the cop is now charged with theft. You can't jump in nobody's car and drive that shit away. What are you talking about?
Jiva Java is saying that is a carjacking happening.
Yeah.
Right there.
That's
Right
the
there.
cop carjacking your shit. Like what? Are you crazy?
I think the only country that in East Africa that is a bit uh, civilized to do with the police is Tanzania. Tanzania is better.
Tanzania. I've never been shit like that in Tanzania, huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
They are polite and cordial about it. They are going to arrest you in a cordial way, in a good way.
Because of the first president was Julius Nyerere. He even said he was anti-corrupt. So from the top to the bottom, it wasn't a corrupt country. He set up not to be corrupt. Jomo was corrupt as fuck. So that's what you get. Country of corruption. This guy, but this is crazy as hell. This is absolutely crazy. Hey, dude, why did he just walk around to the other side? Like, jump to the man's. This is how you know that the police in Kenya completely lawless. Look at this shit. I ain't got to worry about you. What?
Now tell this man that you know you are right.
Look at this crazy shit here.
This is a carjacking, by the way.
Exactly what it. Look at this. This is absolutely crazy. They're looking out, man. Y'all listen. Fuck that. Y'all supposed to beat his ass and throw that cop on the street and drive off. He got his ass beat because Kenyan, them regular people, he ain't got no gun or nothing. I've been beat his ass. Fuck that. You sitting there watching, he's driving with you in the car. You like, also that be called kidnapping because he's driving with you. You didn't ask to be taken away. He's also in the world of law. He's kidnapping too. Not only he carjacked, he's kidnapping this other dude. He has to go with him to no police station. That's kidnapping.
It is crazy. And
see, they ain't got enough police on the road. Right then, I had to beat his ass and throw his ass out the car. Get your ass out of here. Sometimes it works beating the police ass. Kenya, I'd be an ass whipping. You ain't climbing to no window and all that old crazy shit with me. There's two of us in here? Nah, you getting your ass beat. I'm going to throw you in the street. Then I'm going to drive off. You better got my license plate, but I better change that shit. Kenyan Africans, all kind of bootlegs. I got me a bootleg license. Fuck that.
I see some things on TikTok, and I see somebody being pulled over by a police, and they are asking the police, "What is your badge number?" Yeah. Don't you ever dare ask for something like that. What do you mean badge number? The only badge number you're getting is a boot on the face.
Because of certain protocols that police not able to do tomorrow in the real world. Africa's like a whole just wonderland of craziness. Laws don't apply. so corrupt. Yeah, what's your badge? Badge number. Can beat y'all in the head. This is my badge number. Oh shit. That's my bad number. God damn. Crazy. That guy got in the car, but I never seen nothing that crazy.
Jiba Jaba is actually, he used his boot was the badge number. You get your boot on the face. That is the badge number. Here's the badge number, nigga, on your face.
No way. No way you're going to jump my car and I'm just going to be gone. Uh-oh. He back in there.
My camera disconnected. I don't know whether I'm back. Am I back?
Almost. Yeah. You back.
Oh, okay. So as I fix my camera. Yep. I'm back. That was what was happening in Africa today.
That's right. Bad numbers of size 12. Those are the kind of shoes the more was selling in Kampala. You get size 12 up your ass, your face. My back, my foot.
And that is why Africans, leave Africa and go to maybe the West, to a certain country, maybe go to the US, and they don't believe how things work. They don't believe that things can work like that.
That's crazy. The laziness, towards us, but the kids, you won't ever see them do that to nobody white. You never see no police in Kenya do that to somebody white.
Nah, it can never happen. It can never happen.
Never.
Yeah, it can never happen.
Yeah,
I told you about this. They had a club in Nairobi that could not allow black. Black people would get beaten up in that entertainment joint in Nairobi. You getting beaten up by a black security guard for being black.
You weren't allowed. So black people they weren't allowed to go in there.
Yeah, they were not allowed. They had 2 queues. Let me look for a video of it. So even when they would allow black people to enter, they had 2 queues. One for white people, one for black people. So you would not queue on the same line.
This African, their minds are so fucked up.
I'm talking about last year, by the way.
This is what colonialism done. You can't even fathom anything like this. You're in Africa, and you can't even, they allow the white man to discriminate them on their own land where you got 2 lines and white people treated better in Africa than you. You talking about this is absolutely crazy. You mentally gone.
So the video that went viral on the club was of a man who looks like he went and queued on the white people's queue, and he got beaten up thoroughly by the security guards. Here's the video. Let me see if they'll show that on the video. He queued on the white man's line. Queue. This man right here.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on the ground. You enforce, so see, they're so colonized in the mind that they enforce white supremacy. They enforced it. They're so fucked up in the head from white people conquering their head. They enforce white supremacy. It's enforced.
And do you know what later happened? People complained about this video online, and apparently the solution was, so the bar is called The Alchemist. So the solution that was found was that if they are mistreating black people in The Alchemist, then don't go there.
No, shut it down, moron.
They said go to a different club that you're not getting abused.
They're
abusing you there, don't go there.
Always bootlicking. Always let the white people treat us bad and have. What are you in Africa, moron? You can't do that in Europe, you idiot. You can't
I want you to look at the comments from social media on the same. For example, there's this guy saying no manhandling whatsoever in that Alchemist clip. So the clip that you've seen, this man is saying there was no manhandling whatsoever. The bouncers did their job. Nyinyi kama hamjaona how. So he's saying, for once, I'm with The Alchemist. This is a black man saying that there was no manhandling whatsoever in this video. So there was no manhandling in this video, and
I know.
those are fellow Africans talking about
Yeah, the
there was
ignorance.
no manhandling whatsoever
Yeah,
there.
you're talking about the slave mind, more. Yeah, that's the problem with that. The mind. You're talking about a colonized mind. He's clearly being manhandled for just standing in a queue in Africa. Oh, you look at this nigga with these white people. You gonna get beaten? What? Man, you talking about? Listen, till you learn to colonize your mind. And shout out to Dr. Eric Connor. Some of these Negroes ain't gonna make it. They all gotta go.
Look at this other comment, kids. If you can
And
see it
there's
on your
what
side.
Kenya will always show up in areas full of discriminating and assault. Even after the bad reputation of alchemists, people still go there. Andrew Kai was right when he said Kenyans never learn. None of you never learned. You're supposed to shut it down.
So he's blaming the Kenyans for going there. So he's
Yeah.
basically telling you, if you're
Not,
getting abused there, don't go there. But
not
come on, it's
blaming.
my country. I can drink
Exactly.
wherever I want.
Exactly. Not blaming. That's your
What
right
do you
to
mean
be
not
there.
go there?
Exactly. That's your right to be there. Then the club so it shouldn't exist. You're an African. That's your right. It's your country. It's Africa. Anywhere in Africa is yours. It's your right to be wherever you're supposed to be. But white people ain't even African. Can go anywhere in Africa. That's what you've shown these people. If you come here complaining about alchemists, what she said, house niggas went back to the alchemists even after the online racism harassment. Yeah, you all, but you house niggas saying that they were all for going back.
Yeah, so this one is saying house niggas went back to the alchemist even after the online racism and harassment outrage. Kuleni kiburi yenu. So kuleni kiburi yenu translates to you can eat your ego. You can eat your ego. So he's telling them, those who go to the alchemist and get racially abused there, eat your ego.
Well, it's saying that black people never learn. Don't. You're supposed to organize to shut it down, but not go back and give them your damn money. After you've been abused, you don't get no place your money. And I understand he's saying he's calling them house niggas because they are. It don't matter if you beat us up as Africans. We want you white folks in here. We want to be here too, daddy. White daddy, please let us in here. He's supposed to burn that shit down to the ground.
How do you queue on a? How are you told not to queue on the same line as somebody white in 2024 and in your own country?
In your own country, in Africa. It's crazy. You're talking about a colonized mind, the more you're talking about a mind that's gone, a mind that's fucked up. He's supposed to be loud. It's supposed to be burned down to the ground. Sound crazy. Sound crazy. Said the situation system and the church is all about raising slaves. Yeah, the slaves, the slave mind. Yeah, the church. Of course, the church institute.
I now agree with you
as a God.
I now agree with you when you say Africans are weak.
Well, they act weak. There's certain things you're not supposed to tolerate, Demore. You can't set no African club in China and have separate pews for the African and China. They're gonna shut you down. Mm-hmm. There ain't no Chinese come beat the Chinese for trying to get in some club in China. The Africans do this moronic ass shit. They want to appease everybody. Oh, they grew up with them slavery in the house. Oh, these are white people. They're in the Bible. And I'm like, Jesus, they're my Lord. I seen something so funny on TikTok. Somebody made me laugh on TikTok. Somebody shot that, but they do got Africans waking up because this came from Africa. Africans said, we are stupid. He said, we are stupid as hell. The white man came and told you to build your heaven in the sky. Well, he came and stole your land and built his heaven on your land. Right? That's the white folks going to the club, living their heaven. They like, that
is actually in the letter of King Leopold. He was told to tell the people that their riches are stored in heaven. And as we come to the end, Job is coming up in the next few minutes. Make sure to join her. I'll be back tomorrow at 12:30. I don't know what time that is there. It is 12:30 East African time.
Like 4:30 in the morning or 5:30 in the morning, depending on where they at in America. America has three times though. So if you're in the West, shit, that's 1 o'clock in the morning. Well, it depends on where you're at.
For those of
Different
you who
time.
maybe will not be able to
That's five.
catch
That's
my
five.
show,
That's
for
5
those who will
o'clock.
not be able to catch my show live, you can watch the recap later when you wake up. But I'll be here at
Yeah, you know
12:30.
they
So
do. They would have nigga pews. They would have nigga queues in heaven. You niggas over here. I thought we all in heaven now. No, but you niggas gotta be in this queue. That's white folks in this queue. Black people would accept it. I guess that's how heaven works. We still fucked up even in heaven.
So big shout out to Byron Scott, was with me, Ikan
You
Fire,
know,
Jiba Jaba, General Mosquito, and of course everybody else who was watching and watching silently, and of course everybody else who is gonna watch this stream later. This has been the Black Hot Fire News
we'll be
update.
back, guys,
Let's
in
meet
about
tomorrow.
10 more minutes. About 10, how long, Joe, we take the setup. Be back about 10 or 15 minutes, Joe. Family. 10 or 15 minutes, we'll be back.
So
We're
make
gonna
sure to
talk
join.
about Puff Daddy. We're gonna talk about Puff Daddy and they about to get Jay-Z ass. He's missing in action too. All these pedophiles. I told you. The actual people that have the money are throwing these niggas under the bus. Told you. They none of them have own nothing. They put up there. And now we found that Puffy's an agent too. I told you. They put these agents in our community. Even though he's from the CIA and FBI been working with Puffy ass. With this
So make
P.
sure to
Diddy.
join. Make sure to join Joby and Keith for more of that. And
Okay.
see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Maybe doing crypto tomorrow. I don't know. Ooh, take care.
No, we're not doing crypto tomorrow.
I don't know. Demore looked at wrestling. Did you look